Hey everybody, it's me, Sacred G, whatever you want to call me, and today I have a little bit of a response to Creetosis's at least beginning part of the Fallout 4 isn't better than you think, the rebuttal to Many a True Nerds video, and I just have to say, this is one hell of an opening to a fucking video, and I want to say, also before we get started, thank you guys so much for the subs. I truly appreciate that, actually. That means the whole world to me. You know, stay and live life, when I don't upload, watch new people, whatever. And I just want to thank you guys for that. So without further ado, let's get started.
In 2019, I made a response to Many a True Nerds video, Fallout 3 is better than you think.
Oh, you mean the 6-hour now to 8-hour response video that wasn't needed because the video in question, the Many a True Nerd one at least, the Fallout 3 is better than you think, that was an opinionated video. I don't see how come you needed to respond to that, but, you do you.
Overall, his video was really bad.
Well, if that ain't a subjective opinion. That's not shitty, not a lot of people think it's shitty, some people probably do, but to be honest, it's subjective. Thanks for pointing that out. Nice opinion.
With very few valid or accurate points. Throughout his video, John had made many fallacious arguments and blatantly false statements.
Yeah, and you made an 8-hour response video. Well, 6 hours, but now he remade it to 8 hours of a response video to an opinion video. Yeah, some screams disingenuous to me about that, and especially if it's an opinion piece.
He removed context that was inconvenient to his arguments. He even straight up invented things in order to make Fallout 3 look better than New Vegas. And at his worst, he misrepresented what other YouTubers had said in order to make them look foolish and wrong.
Such a big boy claim. Do you have a source for that, or are you just kind of pulling things out of the asshole? As I told Cole Hastings, it better not stink, man. Whatever you pull out of your ass, it better not fucking stink.
Overall, it came off as a really desperate, in defense of type video, where he spent much of the video trying to defend Fallout 3 from any and all criticism, even turning what few criticisms he admitted around into positives.
Are you kidding? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with turning things into positives? Is it that because you just view things in a negative fucking light all the time? Like almost every video that you've done that I've seen, you just shit all over things. You and your little buddies get on your little stream and you start shitting all over things and kind of misrepresenting videos, if you ask me. If you don't believe me, go watch one of their fucking streams.
Rather than actually talking about why he personally liked it.
What are you talking about? That was the entire point of his video. He was sharing what he liked about the game in hopes of getting other people to give Fallout 3 another chance. The entire fucking video, dude, was an opinion. Everything on YouTube, every fucking critic it just states their opinion. It's all opinion, especially on YouTube. Like, how would you take this as fact, and who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck?
Or any legitimate positives the game might have had.
What are you fucking talking about, dude? Fallout fucking 3 does have legit positives. It also has negatives. It's man-made. Everything man-made besides video games has positives and negatives. The fuck are you talking about? What do you mean Fallout 3 doesn't have any positives? Holy fuck, man. Like, did you even play Fallout 3, or did you just read everything online?
While at the same time, he took quite a few inaccurate shots at New Vegas in an attempt to make Fallout 3 look better by comparison.
Yeah, because New Vegas isn't perfect either. What? I don't recall him shitting all over New Vegas. He pointed out, New Vegas' shortcomings, which isn't a bad thing. What's your point here? How did he defame New Vegas? You just say that, but you don't explain what the fuck that means. Like, how did he word New Vegas as bad? Did he say it was outright shit, you should never play it? I don't think that's the case. I think you're just kind of being a little bit.
Just to give a few examples of what I mean here, I'm going to start with a rock-solid, ironclad, irrefutable example here. He said what the developers tutorialize first is what they think is most important to their game. Now, ignoring the fact that's completely false, he then goes on to say that Fallout 3 has dialogue come before shooting, which is true, but that New Vegas tutorialized shooting before skill checks. So also ignoring the fact that there's regular dialogue in Doc Mitchell's house anyways, just like the vault in Fallout 3, there's actually no less than 4 possible skill checks in his house.
Oh my god. Okay, so if you don't know, Matt made the argument that shooting comes first in New Vegas, which it fucking does, Creetosis. Let's be honest here. Fallout 3 tutorializes the speech checks and all that sort of stuff. It has a different opening is what he's getting at than, Fallout 1, 2, New Vegas, and even 4. 4 has the similar opening combat thing as New Vegas. And Creetosis is making the argument that, well, no, New Vegas tutorializes as skill checks a good spring, so it tutorializes you in the fucking skill check ring. It doesn't. That's not his point. His point actually was that New Vegas does overall the in-your-face tutorial where you talk to people. It tutorializes you in combat. The entire fucking main quest line to Good Springs is evolving around bandits, geckos, and fucking it's the decision between the town or the bandits, which ends up in a gunfight either way. I just don't get the point here. It just doesn't make sense to me, because it's like, that is what they tutorialize first. Like, all that, the skill checks and stuff he was talking about, that's totally optional. You can leave Good Springs without touching them. And I guarantee you, everybody would have missed those on their first playthrough. It usually takes 1, 2, or 3 playthroughs to know that they're there.
The very first room of the entire game. He is factually, objectively wrong.
He's factually, and don't forget, objectively wrong, according to Mr. Creetosis here. To be completely honest, no, he's not. I don't think any of you are right nor wrong. It's none of the arguments you provided, Creetosis, can be fucking proven. It's all goddamn opinion. It's all opinion. It's all opinion. Dude, fuck.
In saying that New Vegas tutorializes shooting first, and that skill checks only come in quite a bit down the line, especially when the combat tutorial is optional. I don't know how or why he would get something so simple wrong. He additionally claims that Legate Lanius is just some guy who isn't that important and doesn't affect the plot much.
Alright, Legate Lanius. He's a badass character, I'm not gonna lie. I love New Vegas, I'm not gonna lie about that, but it has its issues. Same with Fallout 4, same with Fallout 3, and same with basically fucking any video game that comes out. Legate Lanius, the argument here is that he doesn't show up until the end game, so he's kind of just some guy. To be completely honest, that's true. That's 100% true. Legate does not show up until the Battle of Hoover Dam. And for people that just played the game quest by quest, they don't know that. They don't know who the fuck Lanius is. Unlike you, Mr. Dives into the lore, Fallout, New Vegas. Legate Lanius is kind of written in terribly. Like, he just does show up, and he's just mentioned briefly through the Legion itself. It's not even mentioned outside. If he's this, terrifying being, then why is he just showing up and not mentioned? I don't get that. But that's my opinion.
Even using a quote from Ulysses in Lonesome Road, in which he says that it might not even be the same man under the mask, but he misunderstands the point of Lanius and why he's handled the way he was, that he's supposed to be a symbol to the Legion. The myth and history of what Lanius is more important than who he is.
Okay, Creetosis, that's only to you. This is your opinion. I personally think Lanius is pretty much terribly written in, and especially knowing that people would play this going quest by quest, and especially people that really don't have time to go into the lore, or that don't want to, that probably sadly don't care, but yeah, it's kind of terribly written in, because as soon as you get to the end game, you will have no idea who the fuck that is, and you'll be like, oh shit, I thought Caesar was the bad guy. It was always pictured as Caesar's fucking Legion, but now it's Lanius. He's the terror of the East. Badass character, but really poorly put in the game, in my opinion.
and this information is given in the very same set of dialogue from Ulysses as the quote John uses to support his argument. In what I believe to be a really dirty and disingenuous move, he frames an argument that Indigo Gaming made regarding Fallout 3 limiting choice as being completely invalid by taking its quote and applying it to a different part of the game. Where Indigo had referred to Lamplight specifically, where combat and aggressive action of any kind is completely stripped out of the game.
Why does that matter? That's an opinion, dude. Not only that, for those of you that don't know, Little Lamplight is a place where children inhabit their own little settlement when you go in. It's all ran by children, and I think preteens, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too familiar with Fallout 3 lore. But I do know for a fact that Little Lamplight is indeed a place ran by children, and what Creetosis is implying, which is the weirdest thing I've ever heard, is that there's no combat options with the children. You can't kill the kids in a fucking game? Dude, that's a weird-ass argument. Like, why would you want to fucking kill kids in a game? Fuck. Like, do you have some pent-up anger with children or something? Or, like, what? Why in a game? It shouldn't be a big deal. Like, it's not in GTA. I don't see people making that retarded argument in fucking GTA. Why make it for Fallout 3?
John had gone in-depth on another quest that does have a bit of choice and quoting Indigo Gaming verbatim, and even using a tone of voice to imply the very notion of what Indigo had said.
By the way, Indigo Gaming has pretty much uploaded subjective videos on Fallout, so like the entire video of why Fallout isn't Fallout. That's a subjective opinion. Holy shit, it's all because of Fallout 4 and 76. Oh my god, I don't like when things change even though that's part of life. Oh my fucking god, man, you're making my fucking head spin.
Absurd and ridiculous.
But for now, honestly, does that quest full of alternative solutions, dark themes and grey moral questions sound antithetical to the very core of Fallout games?
I like how you threw up that clip of him basically describing the end of the quest. What quest was that, actually? To be quite frank, it seems like to me, it was a little bit taken out of, I don't know, what's the word, context? What quest is he talking about? There are choices in Fallout 3, you fucking dipshit. Holy shit. Like, what quest is he talking about? Is it a quest with a choice that you don't want to show because you look stupid when you show it?
John also completely invents the idea that Megaton's food source is the 3 entire mole rats that spawn behind the town.
Okay, man. This is actually extremely deceitful, so... First of all, that's not the case. John basically pointed at wildlife in general was the food source, not mole rats. I don't understand how you missed that point entirely. Like, it literally went over your head, man. That point went through one end and came out the fucking other. I don't understand how you can misrepresent this. This is ridiculous.
Even though there's absolutely nothing in the game to reference or imply that this is the case.
The same with your point, man. There's nothing to prove that that's not the case either. It's probably wildlife more than anything. Or game restraints. Oh yeah, 2008 and even that time frame, they had game restraints. Fuckers don't know anything about game design, it seems like.
There's no one who hunts them, there's no one who herds them, and there isn't a scrap of mole rat meat in Megaton. At least, not that I could find. He just assumes that they're a food source, with absolutely no basis for it.
Kind of like how you're assuming it's a food or it's not a food source without a fucking basis to it. Kind of a hypocrite, I'd say.
Because he wants to defend Fallout 3 from criticism.
Really, you think that? Where's proof of that, man? You can't just say things or assume things because he made a video you didn't care for. I don't think that's the case at all. I think he was just stating his opinion and trying to get his opinion for other people to give Fallout 3 a chance. That's all I think John was doing. I don't think he was poisoning of the well.
He also outright invents the idea that New Vegas doesn't have many dungeons. Again, just to prop up Fallout 3.
It's because New Vegas doesn't really have very many. That's actually true. New Vegas's wasteland is known for being a little empty, to be completely honest. I mean, I love it for what it is, but yeah, to be honest, my complaint would be the same thing. I think Bethesda really nails the post-apocalyptic setting, because, well, they have more room to put dungeons, because, yeah, it's in a city. A bigger city. New Vegas is just out in the fucking desert. So yeah, there's not going to be very much. I mean, I don't know what you wanted in the game. Did you want everything?
And he even acknowledges the fact that Obsidian didn't have much development time.
Alright, I want to talk a little bit about that Obsidian thing. Do you guys know, little fun fact, is that Obsidian gets themselves into these shitty deals that they never fulfill? Yeah, they do. This isn't the only time they've gotten themselves into a deal like this, where they kind of fuck themselves. It happened in KOTOR too, so it's not Bethesda that shortcome them, just in case, that's what he's implying. I don't think that's what he's implying in this case, but he is indeed bringing that up, and I just wanted to clear the air there, but I don't see why that has anything to do with shit. New Vegas is good for what it is.
And completely ignores it for a bizarre and baseless theory that the game just didn't have enough loot to put in the dungeons, and that's why they didn't make many.
Oh my god, the tone of your voice is just hilarious. You're clearly getting upset over a fucking theory, dude. Yes, you're upset. I could hear it in your voice. It's very cringy, and also it's kind of weird that you're getting this mad over a fucking theory. Yeah, they probably didn't put enough loot in there because they couldn't fucking make enough dungeons. New Vegas doesn't have very many. New Vegas is just kind of wasteland and very minimal dungeon sequences.
Which he immediately contradicts by talking about how many unique weapons are in the game and aren't in dungeons. He also makes an argument here comparing the direct number of skill books in each game, which is entirely invalid for the point he's trying to argue. His argument is that there aren't many dungeons due to a lack of loot, and he says Fallout 3 has over 300 skill books, while New Vegas has around 98 or so. Point is, the direct numbers are completely meaningless for this argument, because those numbers are simply how many skill books appear in the game world.
If true, I agree. Not with John, with you, Creetosis. Yeah, I actually would agree. Yeah, that's kind of a shitty point he brought up. Like, why would you bring up skill books? And from what I've known is that they do kind of show up in random places, so I think those 300 skill book could be, just randomly generated and could be found basically anywhere. I don't think there's 300 locations in Fallout 3. I mean, you gotta think this is a 2008 game. A 2008 game. It had very strict constraints back then. A lot more than they do now.
And not the available amount of them to place in the game. Literally nothing is stopping Obsidian from adding more skill books in that regard. There aren't unique copies of skill books, like the magazines in Fallout 4. It's just one item of each type that's placed into the world multiple times. If you find 2 big books of science in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, it's the same item in the code of the game, you just have 2 of them. This means Obsidian could have placed as many skill books as they wanted into the game. There is no limiting factor here.
Hear that? New Vegas could have, or Obsidian could have, put more skill books in, which proved John's point. Wasn't the argument that New Vegas didn't have very many skill books? What? I don't get what he's saying here. He just got a little upset over the skill book thing. And then you admit, oh, well, New Vegas doesn't have very many. Obsidian could have put, more skill books in. Then you proved his point. Wow, man.
Even entertaining this argument is ridiculous, because it's baseless and something he invented whole cloth, so it's rather easy to disprove.
Which we can't disprove. You can't disprove that he's doing that, or prove that at all. And you can't disprove your points. Almost half of them were just opinions. Oh, this is what I think should be in the game. Pretty much. You're arguing and saying this video is garbage. For what reason? Because you disagree with it? That's all you can say. That entire video, that Fallout 3 isn't better than you think, could have been summed up in a comment.
It's also worth noting that populating a world with collectibles does not make it immersive. This is supposedly an RPG we're talking about here, not a looter shooter. There's nothing wrong with dungeons, collectibles, or looting, but they're not the core of what the game should be, nor do they fix poor writing.
Again, that's your opinion, dude. You know, you could take it and run with it all you want. You're entitled to it. But that's not fact. That's opinion. The reason I'm saying this is because I'm getting the feeling he's trying to hammer this in as it's 100% fact. And it's not subjective at all in the slightest, which it fucking is. Everything you've said is subjective. Oh, I don't like the video. Well, that's your opinion. Who cares? Like, I don't care what you think of Fallout 3. I'm only reacting because of the fact that you're kind of being a piece of shit. You're being an asshole for no reason to some other person who made pretty much a better video than you. Like, fuck you.
As mentioned, at many points during his video, he unfairly puts New Vegas down with inaccurate criticisms, which is especially weird when people in the comments were quick to tell me that New Vegas is his favorite Fallout game. I'm still getting comments to that effect. Now keep in mind, these are just some examples. I cover pretty much his entire video in my response to him, including these same arguments, but with more depth than I have here.
Bro, nothing warrants a 6-hour to 8-hour video response. It was filled with conjecture and pretty much deceitfulness in order to achieve that time frame. It was a 2-hour video. It should have been 3 to 4 hours if you really wanted to respond to it. That's how long it should have been. I don't understand why it was 6 hours, then you remade it to an additional 2 hours. That's insane. Like, I watched the 6-hour video. I forgot about it because it's fucking forgettable, let's be honest. And you remade it to a jokingly degree. It's a joke. Why would people waste 8 hours listening to somebody, say, well, this is a good idea, but yeah, this is a positive to Fallout 3, but here's my reason to why it's so bad, and I'm gonna be negative throughout this entire video, even though what is presented is positive. I'm just gonna say, wait, well, there's a downside to that. Like, this is ridiculous.
Point is, this video is pretty garbage. No offense, John, truly, but it's just really not a good video.
No offense, but truly it's not a good video. What the fuck, man? This is your opinion. If you think it's garbage, it's not fact. You're taking everything as fact. It's not a garbage video. There are people who genuinely liked it, I'm sorry to say. Like, I don't know what else to say to this. This is kind of retarded, dude. Like, I actually do want to like your shit. I want to listen and agree to what you're saying, but if you go about it in this way, you're kind of being a piece of shit. No one's gonna like you on the internet. In general, you can end up getting in a lawsuit over being an asshole like this. There was no reason to react. In almost half your streams, there's no reason to react to the 10-year-old videos you respond to. It's ridiculous. You're just overtly negative. And this is, again, your opinion. I genuinely enjoyed the video. And the funny thing is, I don't watch him on a religious basis. I just saw that video and I thought it was good. And then I see this and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's a fucking clown.
When I had responded to him originally, someone had posted my video to his subreddit, and his response was to misrepresent me, my video, and my arguments, use ad hominems against me to discredit what I had said, and he cherry-picked what was probably my weakest argument in the original video to debunk, and he seems to have tried as hard as possible to make me look like some wild-eyed, angry, insane, hyperbolic ripoff of the angry video game nerd, or something.
Well, with this video, yeah, I think so. Like, your entire reason, I would assume, you did the Fallout 4 and 3 analysis was in complete retaliation to fucking Miniature Nerd. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you didn't release those videos until after you released your Fallout 3 video. Then you started doing that. And then when MATNS video came out on Fallout 4, oh, here's an analysis from Creetosis. You're crazily upset over an opinion. That is actually true. And he wasn't actually being a dick to you, which is funny that you say this. He says this later on. Just watch. This is where the meat and potatoes are.
Admittedly, I was pretty harsh in my response, and if I could do the video again, I'd probably handle it differently. But nothing warrants that level of dishonest misrepresentation. I'd far prefer to be called an insufferable cunt over someone attacking my character and misrepresenting me.
Well, you are an insufferable cunt. Pretty much. You're misrepresenting this entire Reddit response. He's not insulting you. He didn't say that this guy's, a batshit crazy person. Stay away from him. Stay away from Creetosis. This guy's insane. He didn't do that. If you read the Reddit post he puts up, he does the exact opposite of what fucking Creetosis said. Read what's on the screen. He didn't, this is what I think Creetosis did. Okay, he went on Reddit, on whatever subreddit this was, and he saw the huge wall of text and flipped the fuck out, because he can't take criticism, and he flipped the fuck out, and then took that in as a personal attack. I don't think he read it, and here's why. It's coming up here.
He didn't even mention the fact that I insulted him. I totally would have understood if he didn't watch my video because of it, or even if he hated me because of it. But instead, he opted for the dishonest response of trying to make me look like a ranting and raving madman. Thanks, dude.
He did mention you insulted him in the very post you threw on screen. He said he was skimming through your video, and what did it for him is when you called him an idiot over the Megaton thing. What the fuck do you mean he didn't mention that you insulted him? He fucking did. And he said as soon as he saw that you called him an idiot over Megaton and then presented a wild-ass argument that didn't have an answer to it. Like, dude, like, what are you talking about? He mentions it. I would have been fine with it. I don't think so. After the comments I've seen, minus the ones that are obviously dickish and the ones that are obviously trollish, that don't present arguments, but yes, the people that complain about the length of your video, you can't take criticism. So that's why you think this is like blowing up in your face and he's personally attacking you, which he's not. He was quite civil. He said he skimmed around through your video because, one, it's long as fuck. Like, do you think anyone's gonna want to sit through a fucking long-ass video like that? Hell no. Hell no. Some people, yeah. But I don't think they listen. They just probably throw it on in the background while they're fucking. Or while they're doing dishes. You know, I just don't understand, dude. Like, you're totally misrepresenting being deceitful, too, about the fucking Reddit post you put on screen. He mentions that you called him an idiot, and that's what did it for him. And then that's the point he decided to argue with you on, which you kind of provided a really shitty argument. Well, there was the Megaton creator didn't create the crater in the ground, and then you didn't provide a fucking answer to that. You just kind of left it debatable, I guess we can say. Fucking ridiculous, dude. You are welcome. I hope, John, you just should tell him that you're welcome for fucking apparently misrepresenting Creetosis, even though he didn't fucking do that. For fuck's sake, I'm going to throw it up on screen. I'm going to throw it up on screen at the segment where I responded to it, but he did not misrepresent Creetosis. That's actually a lie. John reasonably responded to it. He said he skimmed around through the video. One, he has a right to do that if it's going to be a fucking lengthy-ass response video. Yeah, and he did it to listen to your points, and then he got to where you called him an idiot, then he called it quits. And yeah, he basically got his assumption through that, to be honest, and over that, and then you provide a very shitty argument. Are you fucking kidding me? All in all, I just want to say this is just my opinion. I'm not personally angry with Creetosis. It may sound like I'm mad or whatever, but this is just my opinion. I don't care for his content, to be honest. I don't watch many A True Nerd that often. But I did enjoy his Fallout 3 video, but I just disagree with this segment in Creetosis' Fallout 4 response. It's ridiculous. It's just completely, it's filled with deceitfulness, and especially towards the end of this response when he brings up that Reddit post, and that just turned me off. You know, I was like, fuck you. I'm not watching this shitty-ass 4-hour piece of shit video that's going to be regurgitated information, negative information, that's been said many times before. And to be completely honest, that's my opinion. Anywho, I want to thank every one of you again for the subscriptions. 20, whatever. I don't care. I don't care if we even get to like 1,000. That'd be cool, but I don't really give a fuck. And I want to thank every single one of you and all the people that have also gave me criticism or, you know, helped me out with the Acer Thorn video, the rant video I did. I want to thank every person that was involved. Thank you very much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace the fuck out, and try not to get too angry over opinions.